Sad news, everybody. At 134 and before 550, my car had a stroke. This was caused by a number of factors. Some partially my fault, others it could have just happened, and others could have been other defective warning systems not letting me know. I'll explain. Coming home the other day, I was on the parkway and I was going up a hill. It was stop and go traffic. So the car was on an uphill incline. And not a big hill really. Kind of staying on that, start to go, and something just felt funny. I don't know what it was. No real abnormal sounds or anything. Just something didn't feel right. I didn't know what it was. Everything was fine. I made it up the hill. I'm going, and I made it almost all the way home. And I got off the parkway, and here's what I heard. There was a little sound in there as soon as it started up that didn't sound too good. Although it's very light at this particular moment because the engine's been sitting, it's getting louder. You hear that tap, 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 tap. Well, something got damaged somewhere. I was hearing that tap, tap, tap as soon as I decelerated off the parkway, and pretty much at that point it was already too late. Now, of course, you're going to say, well, when was the last time you changed the oil? Changing the oil is not key here. The key is having oil. And I did. I pulled out the dipstick. It was low, but there was oil in it. It was at the bottom mark, which doesn't mean empty, doesn't mean out of oil. But another interesting thing I found lately, and don't ask me why or how I found this out by accident, the oil light in the car was acting a little funny. Now, I don't know if it'll do it now. We'll give it a shot. And I do apologize because of the sun here. Yeah, it's going to be hard to see. Let me see if I could just park the camera here and see if I can block the sun for you at the same time while I turn the key off. I'm going to shut... Well, I don't have the key. Hold on. I'm going to shut the engine off and turn the key back on immediately. Did you see that delay until the oil light came on? Watch again. It goes out. There's oil pressure. So I'm wondering if maybe the sensor is slow to respond, or I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, the car had a stroke. It runs. I don't know how much of that you can hear. I'd go and rev it under the hood, but this is drive-by-wire, so I can't do that kind. So that's the best I can give you. It's running. It still drives fine. The exhaust note sounds just like it did. I'll show you. So I don't know how well you can hear that. I know there's cars going by. I'll see if I put the mic right next to it here. It's just a nice steady pulse, just what it should be. So something got damaged somewhere. Could be a collapsed lifter. Could be a damaged valve, maybe, or I don't know. But the bottom line is, it doesn't pay to even fix it. It still runs for now. So I'm just gonna live with it. I just really hate that fucking death rattle it makes. A, when it starts up, and B, when you're driving, it gets worse. But I did find if you open the window, or if you have a nice diesel truck sitting next to you, the problem goes away. So that's what I'm going to have to do in the meantime. What am I going to do after this? Well, in the meantime, it's basically going to be grinded till you find it. It's going to go until it stops, and that's it. Just a damn shame. A lot of this might be attributed to oil sludge. And a lot of people are going to say, well, you know, if you change the oil regularly, there shouldn't be a buildup of sludge. I call bullshit. Oil change intervals of every 3,000 miles or every 3 weeks, you know, whatever comes sooner, are way too short. Oil never loses its lubricity. That means it'll always lubricate, but it does get dirty, yes. Now, Toyotas have had a history of oil sludge, and the reason why, or one of the reasons why, is because, again, of government intervention. We have to have vehicles that put out a lot less emissions, and because of that, the PCV valve, or whatever equivalent this car has, I don't think it actually has a PCV, but it basically takes the exhaust gases, or actually the EGR, recirculates those to be reburned, but that's already dirty stuff that you're dumping back in the engine to be reburned. So no matter how good of an air filter you have, you still have contaminants that are in the gases that have been expelled by spent fuel in a cylinder. That gets dumped back into the intake after the air filter, not that that's going to do a damn really, to be reburned. So you're only depositing those contaminants back in the engine, back in the oil, and that can clog up the oil galleys. My only guess as far as what happened was, perhaps, I'm speculating, because of the low oil level, when the car was on that incline, the oil sloshed back, and perhaps the pump wasn't able to supply adequate oil pressure, and maybe because of the knackered light or sender or whatever it is, it didn't warn me in time. Trust me, if I saw an oil light, that key would be off before anything else happened. You know, an oil light coming on does not mean add oil to the engine. I know that. It means low or no oil pressure, usually no oil pressure. But low oil pressure, I don't know. It should have really oiled whatever it needed to. Maybe that weird sound was a tip-off, but I really didn't hear any other problems with it after that. I have no idea. So if you're going to put comments like, change the oil more regularly, this, that, and the third, how often you change the oil, this, that, you know, etc., just don't. Just don't. Because then I'm going to have to ban you, and then you can't watch any more of Jay's videos. So don't ask. If you have any other questions, of course, I'll be more than happy to entertain them. So, anyway, been really bummed about this, but like I said, it wasn't much I really could have done anyways. If I would have had a little warning, even if the light came on, that key would have been off so fast and maybe we could have done something, but it never did. Anyway, the good news is, if you see right over here, America lives on. So maybe there'll be a new car in the family, maybe sooner than later. Maybe this will run for another 70,000 miles. Love to get 200,000 out of it, but I don't think that's really a possibility. But how it runs now, it's getting kind of beat up. It's 13 years old, but it runs for now, so I just deal with it. And when it craps out, maybe I won't have to go into work that day because I'll get stuck. Fuck them. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.